Okay, so we have an urgent information coming out. USGS and many experts just put out some very important information here. The Russian 8.8 magnitude earthquake struck on Megathrust fault, and at the same time, one of Russia's biggest volcano just blew, literally blew. All right, so there's a lot of earthquake aftershock. I want to show you some of these updates here, but that doesn't look good. That is absolutely insane. All right, so we do have a lot. I mean, there's a lot more updates here, guys, and wow, 5.6. I mean, look at all these magnitude, and they all basically 10 kilometers. So you best believe a lot of people's feeling the ground movement right now. All right, so we're gonna get to all this here, guys. So very important information coming out, and at the same time, I just posted a video not too long ago. You may want to check this one out. This link will be in the comments box. All right, you have experts warn a potential major earthquake along Tectonic fault. This is right there in Canada, and I think it's Canada, if I'm not mistaken. Alright, so I did post a video. The link will be in the comments box. So let's see what's going on with this very important updates that's coming out. And once again, South America is on high alert. Peru sounding the alarm. The president has declared, I think they declared a state of emergency out there in Peru and also in Ecuador. Alright guys, before I start, for those of you that want to send us letters, a prayer request, you can send it to me, US Santiago, or my wife Jessica Santiago at 3432 US Highway 19, number 2, Holiday, Florida 34691. And for those of you that want to help and support the channel, we do have the PayPal link and a Cash App link in the comments box and also description box. Thank you so much for your support. Alright, we're about to enter August. July has been, strong earthquake and flash flooding. June, flash flooding, massive heat wave. I mean, we are definitely seeing huge events happening in the summer. This here is going to go down the history books. All right, so the 8.8 magnitude earthquake off Russia that triggered tsunami warnings across the Pacific occurred on what is known as a megathrust fault, where the denser Pacific plate is sliding underneath the lighter North American plate, scientists said. Now, the Pacific plate has been on the move, making the Kamchatka Peninsula area of Russia far east coast, where it struck, especially vulnerable to such tremors, and bigger aftershock cannot be ruled out, they said. So, once again, USGS and many earthquake experts has put out a lot of good stuff here. With its epicenter near the city of Petropavlovsk, Kamchatka, it was the biggest earthquake since the devastating Tohoku event in 2011, which caused a tsunami that sent Japan Fukushima nuclear plant into meltdown. The Kamchatka seismic zone is one of the most active subduction zones around the Pacific Ring of Fire, and the Pacific plate is moving westwards at around 80 millimeter, that's 3 inches per year. Now you have subduction events in which one plate pushes under another are capable of generating far stronger earthquakes than strike slips, such as the one that hit Myanmar in March, where plates brush horizontally against one another at different speeds. Man. Everything is shifting. The Kamchatka area is particularly vulnerable, and experienced a magnitude 9 event in November of 1952, wiping out the towns of Santiago and causing extensive damage as far away as Hawaii. Monsoon told Reuters, shallow megathrust events are more likely to cause tsunami because they burst through the seafloor and displace huge volumes of water. Earthquake in eastern Russia. A magnitude 8.8 earthquake struck of Russia far east, Kamchatka Peninsula, on Wednesday, damaging some buildings and generating a tsunami of up to 4 meters, that's 13 feet, that prompted warnings and evacuation stretching across the Pacific Ocean. And it's not over. You still have a lot of waves, a lot. And then these aftershock, I mean, you got 6 point plus. I mean, it's just nonstop. So I want to take you to this part right here, the aftershock. Foreshock and aftershock. Wednesday earthquake has already triggered at least 10 aftershock above magnitude 5, and they could continue for, oh my, months. These aftershocks will continue for months. You mean to tell me that we're going to be seeing stuff like this for a couple of months now? Wow. Alright, give me a second here, guys. Man. I'm just concerned that all that aftershock going on is going to trigger something. Something is going to snap. Something is going to snap. That thing right there is going to unleash something. Who knows? Cascadia? What's that yellow one? 4.5. That's California. Now I want to see if I can find any more information here, but let me show you some of these pictures. Look at this here. You got the birds. These birds know. These birds are telling these humans, man, get out, man, leave. We've seen the waves from miles away. Here you are worrying about boats. All right, so let me go back on X and see if we can find any more updates here, guys. But man, that's aftershock is gonna last for a couple of months. That's brutal. Okay, let me go back to Reuters. They're putting out the information here. Let me just continue finishing this one here. But yeah, it's very concerning. The tsunami risk. With a relatively shallow depth of 20.7 kilometers, that's 13 miles. Wednesday earthquake was always going to create such tsunami risk, expert said. It is an offshore earthquake, and when you have offshore earthquake, there is the potential for tsunami. All right, so once again, guys, you do have multiple countries under emergency text alert sent out. So if you have a relatively shallow earthquake, it is more likely to rupture the surface of the ocean floor, he told Reuters. We've seen in some cases you can have large earthquake like this and not cause a tsunami because they are too deep and the shearing doesn't express itself at the surface. Tsunami waves of around 1.7 meters, that's 5.5 feet, reached as far as Hawaii, less high than originally expected. But scientists warn that such waves do not have to be especially big to do damage to the relatively low-lying coastline of Pacific Island nations. Parts of French Polynesias were told to brace for waves as high as 4 meters, 13 feet. The impact of a tsunami depends on its run-up as it approaches coastline. If you have a very long, shallow run-up to the coast, a lot of energy can be dissipated over that run-up. But if it's a very steep shelf before you get to the coast, the wave height can be higher, he said. All right. Once again, that's the latest news. Give me a second here. Let me go on X. Now you have experts, keeping an eye on the Cascadia. Okay, so you have this news here. Tsunami risk appears to pass for U.S. after massive Russian earthquake. South American countries issue new warnings. Let me make this a little small so you guys have a better view. There we go. Perfect. One of the strongest earthquakes ever recorded struck Russia far east early Wednesday, sending tsunami waves into Hawaii, the U.S. West Coast, and Japan. Several people were impacted. None gravely and no major damage have been reported so far. All right, so residents of the peninsula fled inland as 16-foot waves caused flooding. 16 foot. So immediately after the earthquake, Hawaii issued a tsunami warning and evacuation order. But Wednesday morning, the warning was downgraded. The warning was downgraded to an advisory and evacuation order were lifted. Now, Hawaii emergency official gave an all clear by the afternoon and canceled the tsunami advisory. The alerts remain in effect along Japan's east coast and southern island. States on the U.S. West Coast were placed under a tsunami advisory that remained in effect until Wednesday morning. Many of the warnings in California had been lifted by Wednesday afternoon, with just an area near the California-Oregon border and Ripped Point in the southern part of the state under an advisory. Seems like the West Coast is going to be good. But it's still going to keep they're going to keep an eye in the northern part of the West Coast. U.S. Secretary of Homeland Security, Christie, said the worst was over. We were fully deployed and ready to respond, if necessary, but grateful that we didn't have to deal with the situation that this could have been. We were fully deployed and ready to respond. If it comes to a tsunami, there's no way of fighting those forces. I'm kidding, guys. Alright, so it says here, alert along South America's Pacific coast, including Chile, forced evacuations and closed beaches. Experts had warned earlier that the effects of the earthquake may continue through Wednesday. A tsunami is not just one wave, Dan said, the tsunami warning coordinator with the National Tsunami Warning Center in Alaska. It's a series of powerful waves over a long period of time. Tsunami crossed the ocean at hundreds of miles an hour. as fast as a jet airplane in deep water. But when they get close to the shore, they slow down and start to pile up. And that's where that inundation problem becomes a little bit more possible there. All right. So we're going to skip the rest. It seems like everything is good so far, but the aftershock, that's still going on. There is a lot of information here, guys. There's a lot of information in this news article. I'm going to leave this one in my description box if you guys want to check it out. Kamchatka sees flooding, volcanic activity. Now, we did talk about volcano. Also, Yellowstone got hit with a 2.9. There's a lot of information. Ooh, there is a lot of information in this one here. Oh, man. Yeah, this is like almost in one hour video. But I'm going to end it here, guys. This is where we at right now when it comes to earthquakes. Let me go on the USGS really quick and see if there's any more updates. So far, this is all the information here. Alright, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please share the video. For those of you that want to send us letters, a prayer request, you can send it to me, US Santiago, or my wife, Jessica Santiago, at 3432 US Highway 19, number 2, Holiday, Florida 34691. Once again, guys, $5 a month Patreon. We get you access to our live stream once a week. We talk about things that we cannot talk about on the platform. Also, I posted videos today. Those links will be in the comments box. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you all. Put faith and trust in Jesus Christ, for He's the only way, the truth, and the life. No one gets to the Father except through Jesus. Thank you so much for watching. Till next time later. Peace.